You know what nobody tells you about a real long-term power outage? It's not the big dramatic moment that gets you, it's the silence. The moment you realize that humming sound of the refrigerator, the buzz of the electronics, the entire sound of the modern world is just gone. And the darkness that follows is something different. It's heavy. Your first thought is the flashlight in the junk drawer, but you find the batteries are dead. Your phone, you forgot to charge it. That's when the real problems start. You can't see the look on your kid's face, but you can hear the fear in their voice. You feel that knot in your stomach tighten because you realize your entire plan for safety and security depended on a switch on the wall. And it's not coming back on. Look, I've been doing this since 2012, and it took me years to figure this out. Being prepared isn't about some fantasy apocalypse scenario. It's about having a practical plan for when the systems we rely on every single day just stop. In this video, we're going to cover 15 sources of light that don't need the grid. And I'm not talking about flimsy solar garden stakes or the flashlight with the dead batteries. I'm talking about real, reliable, time-tested solutions that will keep your home lit and your family safe. So grab a notepad, because we're about to talk about how to own the night when everyone else is panicking in the dark. Number 1, candles. Let's start with the most basic, most iconic source of light, the candle. Before you dismiss it, understand that its simplicity is its strength. They're cheap, you can find them everywhere, and anyone can use one. They give off a warm, gentle light that's just plain good for morale when things are stressful. But not all candles are the same. Those cheap paraffin candles you get at the dollar store? They're made from petroleum, and they can release soot and other junk into the air. If you're burning them inside for hours, you absolutely need ventilation. A much better option for stockpiling are beeswax or soy candles. Beeswax candles burn cleaner, brighter, and way longer. They have a pleasant natural scent. Some people claim they release negative ions and purify the air. I don't know about all that. What I do know is they don't leave black soot on my ceiling, and that's a win. Soy is another great clean-burning option. When you stockpile, think of variety. Get some of those big emergency candles that burn for 100 hours. Get a bunch of tea lights and votives to stick in different rooms. A good rule is to have enough to burn 2 or 3 candles for a few hours every night for at least a month. And the number 1 rule, and I mean number 1, fire safety. Never ever leave one burning unattended. Put it on a solid, non-flammable plate and keep an extinguisher handy. This is non-negotiable. Number 2, oil lamps. Okay, if candles are your handgun, an oil lamp is your rifle. For bright, steady, room-filling light, nothing in the combustion world beats a good oil lamp. The tech is brilliant and simple. A tank holds the fuel, a wick sucks it up, and a burner lets you control the flame safely. You've got 2 main types. The most common is the flat wick lamp. These are your classic hurricane lanterns, or the lamps you see on a farmhouse table. They're tough, reliable, and put out a decent amount of light, maybe like a 25-watt bulb. The superior choice, if you can find and afford one, is a round wick lamp like an Aladdin. They use a mantle, kind of like a propane lantern, and they produce a bright white light that's as good as a 60-watt bulb. One of these can light up a whole room for reading. But here's the real key to using oil lamps. Your fuel. Kerosene is traditional. It's cheap and it stores forever. But it has a strong smell and it's sooty. Not great indoors unless you've got windows wide open. The gold standard is modern, clear lamp oil or paraffin oil. It's refined to be smokeless and odorless. It's what you want for indoor use. Here's my setup. I have a few high-quality lamps, and I store a minimum of 5 gallons of clear lamp oil. That much fuel can give you light every single night for months. You also have to stockpile extra wicks and at least 1 spare glass chimney for each lamp, because they're the one part that's easy to break. Learning how to properly trim the wick for a clean burn is a fundamental skill. Practice it now. Number 3, kerosene hurricane lanterns. Now let's talk about a specific kind of oil lamp that is absolutely critical, the hurricane lantern. I just told you kerosene isn't great indoors, and it's not. But for an outdoor, all-weather workhorse, it's the undisputed king. A well-built hurricane lantern, like a Dietz, is engineered for one thing, to not fail when everything else does. The design is genius. It has a metal cage to protect the glass, and a special ventilation system that lets it stay lit in high wind and pouring rain. That's why they call it a hurricane lantern. This is the light you grab when you have to go check on your property in a storm or fix a fence in the middle of the night. It will not let you down. The fuel, kerosene, is cheap and stores for an incredibly long time. Your primary role for this tool is outdoors. It's the light for your barn, your workshop, or for navigating your property after dark. Having one or two of these is a wise investment. They're not expensive, and they'll last your entire life. Firing one of these up in a blackout is a powerful feeling. It's a tool of pure resilience. Alright, let's move on to the stuff that doesn't involve burning fuel. This is where modern tech gives us some incredible advantages our ancestors never had. These are the ultimate no-fuel solutions. Number 4. Solar-powered lights. 10 years ago, solar lights were mostly junk, flimsy garden stakes that gave off a sad little glow for an hour. That has completely changed. Modern solar lanterns and lights are a game changer for preparedness, and if you don't have any, you're behind the curve. This is the ultimate set-it-and-forget-it light. You just leave it in the sun during the day, and you get hours of free light at night. There's no fuel to store, no flame, no smoke. They're incredibly safe, which makes them perfect for kids' rooms or for use inside a tent. I'm talking about products like Lucy lamps or other inflatable lanterns, and even small solar-powered systems that can run a few LED bulbs. The key is to have several of them. Use one tonight and have two others outside charging for tomorrow and the next day. They provide great ambient or even task lighting, depending on the model. For their cost and reliability, there is no excuse not to have a handful of these in your preps. Number 5. Hand, crank, windup, lights. This one is all about absolute guaranteed reliability. Think about it. Solar needs sun, candles and lamps need fuel, battery-powered lights need batteries. A hand crank light? It just needs you. As long as you can turn that crank, you have light. Period. The light might not be as bright as an oil lamp, and it's not something you want to use for hours on end for ambient light. But for transitional lighting or for a short-term task, it's bulletproof. I was in a power outage once for several days after a nasty ice storm. No sun for the solar panels to do much. That's when it clicked for me. My hand crank radio with a built-in flashlight became one of the most valuable things I owned. This is the perfect backup to your backup. It lives in your truck, your go bag, or your kitchen drawer. It never needs batteries. It never runs out of fuel. It just works. Most of them also come with a small solar panel and a USB port to give a little bit of charge to a phone, which is a huge bonus. It's a tool that provides light through pure mechanics, and that's something you can depend on. Now we're going back in time. These methods are less refined, but they are infinitely sustainable. This isn't about your primary plan. This is about having the knowledge to make light from scratch when all your stored supplies have run out. Number 6. Tallow or animal fat candles. Long before we had paraffin, the main fuel for candles was rendered animal fat, or tallow. For anyone who hunts or raises animals, this is a critical skill. It's about turning a waste product into a valuable resource. The process is simple. You slowly melt down fat from beef, deer, or other animals, strain it, and then dip wicks or pour it into molds. Now, let's be honest, tallow candles can be a little smoky, and they have a distinct smell. The light is softer and dimmer than a modern candle, so why bother? Because it's true self-sufficiency. In a world where you can no longer buy candles or lamp oil, the ability to create light from a hunted animal is a priceless skill. It closes the resource loop. You don't need to stockpile tallow, you need to stockpile the knowledge. Practice it once. It's a humbling experience that gives you a critical fallback skill. Number 7. Fatwood or resinous wood torches. Out in the forest, especially in the stumps of old pine trees, you'll find something called fatwood. It's wood that's saturated with natural pine resin, and it's incredibly flammable. It's nature's perfect fire starter, but you can also use it for light. A piece of fatwood burns with a hot, bright, persistent flame. Bundle a few pieces together on the end of a stick, and you've got a torch that can light up an outdoor campsite or let you navigate through the woods. This is an outdoor-only light. It's smoky, and a torch might only last 15 to 20 minutes. So, it's not for reading a book by the fire. Its role is as a powerful, free, and accessible outdoor light that you can find in the environment. Learn to identify the pine trees in your area and where to find fatwood. It's a woodsman skill that costs you nothing. You can harvest it and store it forever. It never goes bad. Number 8. Rushlights. Okay, now we're getting truly historical. This is one of the most ancient forms of lighting. A rushlight is what people used before candles were even a thing, and it represents absolute ingenuity. You make it from the common rush plant that grows in marshy areas. You peel the stalk, leaving a little spine of the green outer layer to support the soft inside, and then dry it. Once it's dry, you dip it in any kind of waste grease you have. Bacon grease was the classic choice. When you light it, the fat-soaked pith acts like a primitive candle. It's a dim light, it's smoky, and it's a little smelly. It will only burn for maybe 15 minutes. So why should a modern prepper care? Because it costs nothing but your time. It's made from a weed and waste grease. In a truly long-term collapse scenario where you have nothing left, the knowledge of how to make a rushlight means you will never be in complete darkness. That is a psychological advantage you cannot put a price on. This is the lighting method of last resort. Number 9. Fireplaces and wood stoves. This one seems obvious, but people forget to think of it as a lighting source. If you have a fireplace or a wood stove, it's the heart of your off-grid home. It provides heat, but it also provides a huge amount of light and a massive morale boost. A roaring fire casts a warm, flickering light that can fill a whole room. It creates a natural gathering spot for the family. It turns a dark, scary house into a warm, inviting home. Beyond that ambient light, you can use it for tasks. People read and worked by the light of the hearth for thousands of years. Of course, you can't carry it to the bedroom, and it requires a serious stockpile of firewood. But the efficiency of getting heat and light from one fuel source is unmatched. In a grid-down situation, your fireplace becomes your television, your heater, and your living room lamp, all in one. Alright, we're partway through. If you're finding this practical, no-nonsense information useful, do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. I'm dedicated to sharing tested information for real preparation, not fantasy scenarios. We've still got some incredible and often overlooked methods to cover, so stick with me. This next category is for the resourceful. This is where you take classic lighting ideas and adapt them to use fuels you can find in your pantry or even make yourself. Number 10. DIY oil candles, mason jar lamps. Let's merge the simplicity of a candle with the sustainability of an oil lamp. You can do this yourself with a mason jar. Punch a hole in the metal lid, feed a cotton wick through it, fill the jar with oil, and you have a safe, long-lasting lamp. This is where being clever beats being rich. And the key advantage is fuel flexibility. These simple lamps work incredibly well with common household vegetable oils. Olive oil is a fantastic fuel. It burns very cleanly with almost no smoke or odor. Let's be real, any indoor combustion needs some ventilation, but this is one of the safest and cleanest options there is. You can also use melted lard or tallow. This means your fuel source is in your kitchen pantry. A single big bottle of olive oil can provide light for hundreds of hours. It's way more efficient than trying to make solid olive oil candles. The light is perfect for ambient glow and close-up tasks. Stockpiling for this is easy. Store extra 100% cotton wicking and a few gallons of inexpensive vegetable oil. Number 11. DIY clay lamps, dia lamps. This is an ancient idea from around the world. A dia is just a small clay bowl with a little lip to hold a wick. You can make them yourself from natural clay if you have the skill. And that's a whole new level of self-reliance. You fill the little bowl with oil ghee or clarified butter is traditional, but olive oil or any vegetable oil works great. Then you just lay a simple cotton wick in it. The light from one is small, but the beauty is you can use a dozen of them around a room to create a great ambient glow. They're super stable and safe. Again, this is about being able to create light from the dirt under your feet and the oil in your pantry. Number 12. Pine knot torches. This is similar to fatwood, but even better. Pine knots are the super dense resin-soaked chunks where a branch grew out of the trunk. When a pine tree dies and rots away, these knots are often the last thing left because they're so tough and waterproof. They're like little lumps of pure, concentrated fuel. You can light the knot itself, but it's better to lash it to the end of a stick to make a proper torch. The light is bright, hot, and smoky, definitely an outdoor-only tool. But a good-sized pine knot can burn for over an hour, much longer than a bundle of fatwood. They're perfect for lighting up a path or a work site. Learning to spot these on the forest floor is a skill that gives you access to a free, powerful source of light. Now for something completely different. No flame, no fuel, no smoke. These methods fill a vital and unique role in your preps. Number 13. Chemical light sticks, glow sticks. Glow sticks are a modern marvel of preparedness. You bend the stick, a glass vial inside breaks, two chemicals mix, and you get light with no heat. Their number one advantage is safety. They are 100% safe. No flame, no heat, no spark. This makes them the single best light source to use around kids, in a tent, or if you think you might have a gas leak. They're also totally waterproof and windproof. A standard 12-hour green or yellow glow stick is perfect for low-level ambient light. Hang one in the bathroom, one in each kid's room. It's not bright enough to read by, but it's enough to navigate a room and kill the fear of the dark. Stockpiling them is easy. They're cheap in bulk and last about 5 years. For the cost and safety, there is no excuse not to have a big supply of these. They're the perfect first light to crack while you're getting your oil lamps ready. Number 14. Glow-in-the-dark, photoluminescent materials. This is the smartest, most passive lighting you can have. Glow-in-the-dark tape or paint absorbs light during the day and then slowly releases it at night. Think of it like a light battery. You charge it with the sun or even your oil lamp, and it glows for hours. The glow isn't bright, but its job is to mark important things. Put tape on light switches, doorknobs, the edges of stairs, and the handrail. This creates a safe path through your house in total darkness. You can put a patch of it on your box of lighting supplies so you can find it instantly. This is free light every single night. It's about being smart and preventing an injury that would be a disaster in a long-term situation. Number 15. Reflective lighting techniques. Our last item isn't a light source, it's a light multiplier. This is the thinking person's prep. In a light-scarce world, you have to be smart and maximize what you have. The concept is simple. Take one candle and use a reflector to bounce that light around the room. Put a simple mirror behind your candle or oil lamp. It will literally double the amount of useful light thrown into the room. A sheet of aluminum foil works. A white painted board works. It costs almost nothing and just requires a bit of thought. This means you can get the same amount of comfortable light while using half the fuel, which doubles the life of your stockpile. It's not about having the brightest lamp, it's about being the most efficient. So there you go. 15 real-world lighting solutions that will work when the grid won't. The goal isn't to run out and buy all 15. The goal is to understand the principles and create a layered, resilient plan that works for you. Have glow sticks for instant safety. Rely on clean-burning oil lamps for your main indoor light. Keep a rugged hurricane lantern ready for outdoor work. And most important, have the knowledge to fall back on more primitive methods if a crisis lasts longer than you planned. Preparation is about turning panic into a plan. It's about having the tools and the skills to remain calm and capable when everyone else is in the dark. By doing the work now, you're buying yourself safety and peace of mind. When the lights go out, your home can be a calm, well-lit beacon. If this information helped you think differently about preparedness, hit that subscribe button. I'm constantly sharing practical, tested information for real-world situations. Now I want to hear from you. What's your go-to non-electric light source? Which of these are you already stockpiling, and which one are you thinking about adding? Let me know in the comments. Your experience helps everyone in this community.